What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Wrestling Time channel. Well, we're just a few days away from the release of the newest addition to the WWE 2K series, WWE 2K20, which will no doubt be one of the most immersive experiences fans have ever seen. Not only will the game include an up-to-date roster with superstars from Raw, SmackDown, NXT, NXT UK and 205 Live all appearing, there will also be the usual mixture of WWE legends and Hall of Famers sprinkled in for good measure. Last year's efforts was able to boast that it was the biggest in WWE video game history, with a more than impressive 241 playable characters ranging all the way from Alundra Blaze to Roman Reigns. WWE 2K20's roster should be equally noteworthy, with new superstars being added that were nowhere to be seen last year, or who haven't been seen for several years. So with that said, be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell, because we're about to look at wrestlers who for the first time have been included in the 2K series. If you happen to have missed our video on removed wrestlers, be sure to click the icon in the right hand corner that'll lead you to the video. We'll also be looking at returning wrestlers as well, so be sure to subscribe. And let's waste no further time and get into number 1, Matt Riddle. The original bro has taken NXT by storm since he finally signed with the company last year, and many people believe he has what it takes to become the next top star in WWE. It has recently been confirmed that the former MMA fighter will make his debut video game appearance in the series with this entry, and the screenshots we've seen of him so far look great, capturing his look perfectly. Hopefully the developers will be able to transfer his charisma over to the game, because fans who are unfamiliar with the NXT product will be in for a treat when they get a chance to play as him. Number 2. Io Shirai. The Joshi Judas has become one of the best acts on the Yellow brand since her heel turn earlier this year, and her inclusion in this edition of the game can't come at a better time. Fans have been clamoring to play as the superstar who is in many people's opinion the best women's wrestler in the world today, and we for one can't wait to see a fully game-rendered version of her new entrance, complete with one of the best theme songs from the WWE in years. Number 3. Mia Kim. Mia made herself known to WWE fans through her appearances in the Mae Young Classic, and has since risen to the level of competing for the NXT Women's Championship against Shayna Baszler at TakeOver Toronto. This year marks her first appearance in the series, and will hopefully be the first of many for the up-and-coming star. Number 4. Zelina Vega. While the business manager of Andrade has appeared in the series before as a manager, this edition marks the first time gamers will be able to experience her as a playable character. This only makes sense as she's been appearing in more matches on television this year, rather than being strictly limited to a managerial role. Now, playable versions of other managers might be asking too much, but how fun would it be to get to play as Paul Heyman in a future edition? Make it happen, 2K. Number 5. Trent 7. While his Mustache Mountain partner Tyler Bate got in his game debut last year, Trent 7 will now be able to say the same for himself, as he is confirmed to be a playable character this time around. Trent has been tearing it up over in NXT UK as part of British Strong Style, and with his inclusion, we now have access to the full stable for the first time. Unfortunately, their chief rivals Imperium don't appear to have made the cut this year, but that could always be resolved with further DLC, or even some of the more creative fans using the Creator Wrestler mode. Number 6. RHEA Ripley. Another Australian talent making their first appearance in the 2K series, the inaugural NXT UK Women's Champion RHEA Ripley has been one of the stars of her brand since its inception, after her great series of matches with Toni Storm, and she even made an appearance in this year's Women's Royal Rumble match, managing an impressive 3 eliminations during that time. She's another welcome addition to the game, and another example of the ever-growing women's revolution in WWE. Number 7. Toni Storm. Whilst we're on the subject of NXT UK's women's division, the rival of RHEA Ripley and former NXT UK Women's Champion in her own right Toni Storm has been a fan demand in the series for quite a while now, and finally this year we'll see her appear as a playable character. We even saw a clip of her entrance in the game's trailer, and like the rest of it, it looks fantastic. Number 8. Keith Lee. Shifting back over to the stateside branch of NXT, it has been confirmed that Keith Lee will appear in the series this year for the first time. One of the fastest up-and-coming stars on the NXT brand, the former PWG champion will be right at home in WWE 2K20 alongside his peers. It's just a shame we won't be able to replay his series of matches with Donovan Dijakovic for the time, but fans will find plenty of other options for matchups in the meantime. Number 9. Humberto Carrillo. These days, the Mexican native divides his time between NXT and 205 Live, and with his double workload, it only seems fair for him to be introduced into the 2K series. Perhaps one of the lowest profile new entries this year, the Cruiserweight will nevertheless likely boast an impressive moveset that should be a huge amount of fun to play around with him. Number 10. Mark Andrews. Another NXT UK star making his in-game debut this year is Wales' own Mark Andrews, who like Humberto Carrillo has been splitting his time as part of the 205 Live roster. Andrews is a current NXT UK Tag Team Champion, though it appears his partner Flash Morgan Webster may miss out on the cut this year. He's another fairly low profile entry, but nevertheless a star of the future. Number 11. JAXSON RYKER. The man who made his name as part of the TNA roster under the guise of Gunner has been seen recently on NXT as part of the Forgotten Son stable. Ironically, it seems that the other two members, Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler, will remain forgotten this year. However, until then, JAXSON will make his debut appearance in-game, and this will hopefully raise his stock amongst fans by doing so, leaving him forgotten no more. Number 12. The Fiend and other supernatural characters. Those who pre-order the deluxe edition of the game will be rewarded with some extra characters on release. The most notable of these is a last-minute inclusion of the Fiend Bray Wyatt. Now, Wyatt and his Firefly Funhouse have caused quite a stir on WWE television in recent months, and with the help of his demonic new alter ego, he's quickly jumped the ranks to become one of the most popular acts in the company, with fan interest high and merchandise selling out quickly. Lucky gamers will be overjoyed to be able to let him in and terrify opponents in the ring, and not only will they get access to the Fiend, but the full exclusive Bump in the Night DLC pack, which includes horror-themed characters never before seen in a WWE video game. Well, that's if you don't count WCW Backstage Assault. That game was pure horror from start to finish. But anyway, the extra characters will include Demon King Finn Balor, the Swamp Father Bray Wyatt, Frankenstrowman, Wicked Aleister Black, Unleashed Apex Predator Randy Orton, the hilariously named Fed Up Sheamus, Zombie Sasha Banks, Survivor Mandy Rose, and Twisted Nikki Cross. Think of it as the 2K series equivalent of Red Dead Redemption's Undead Nightmare DLC. Number 13. Chyna. For the first time since the release of SmackDown 2 Know Your Role, for the original PlayStation all the way back in 2000, the 9th wonder of the world and former Intercontinental Champion will return to the virtual world. It's a long overdue reintroduction and has most likely been pushed along by her inclusion into the WWE Hall of Fame earlier this year, as part of DX. However, as stated previously, just like the Fiend and his supernatural friends, Chyna will only be playable by purchasing the deluxe edition of the game, which will provide an extra incentive to fans wanting to play out their dream match fantasies of the WWE legend going up against current women's champions like Bayley or Becky Lynch. But those were all the wrestlers making their debut in the new 2K20 game. Who will you be playing as the most? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling video game content.